play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bob says Nico gonna find Rainer.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NGS, and I am clearly terrible because I played the wrong intro sting with the wrong video. But what are you going to do? It is a Wednesday night. Joining me, Division B West, Jailbail versus Winston, Churchill, Manatees, my buddy Wipeout, how's it going?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me.
Of course, my man. We're going to see... if...
I'll take the spot of B-Med. That works.
Yeah. No, not that one. That's fine. I have these little like intro stingers that plays like a fun little intro, and it has the teams like intro with the logos, and they look really cool. But I cut the right one today, and then I didn't put the right source in. And I'm not familiar, or as familiar with slobs yet to figure out how to change the source in game to rerun it real quick. We're gonna do this. Sorry guys, you're gonna watch the wrong one again, so I can do the right one. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna get our teams. There we go. Hopefully that is doing it. There's the right one.
For my part, I like the other one too.
Well, it was sloppy, but better late than never, I suppose. There it is, the actual right intro for our two Division B East opponents today, Jailbail, Winston, Churchill, Manatees. Let's go ahead and we will pop in to see what these teams picked and banned as far as maps go. And here we are. So game one on Infernal Shrines, which is the choice of Winston, Churchill, Manatees. Jailbail banned out Cursed Hollow and Sky Temple. Winston Churchill Manatees banned out Brax's Holdout, thankfully, and Tomb of the Spider Queen. And game one, the most popular map in NGS Wipeout.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. It's my favorite map, I think. Infernal Shrines is hella fun. A lot of brawls.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the... Oh, I'm host apparently. That would explain why I can't swap you yet.
And turnouts, I'm playing too.
For real here. All right, here we go. Now I can fix all the things. Except for the teams are on the wrong sides. Oh my goodness.
You know what? You're doing pretty good for your first time.
Well, I don't know why I'm host. I wasn't made host. I didn't realize that. You know what? I'm gonna make some. What I'm gonna do.
Don't make me do it.
I'm not making you do it. All right. Well, a little bit of a rocky start. So if this was the pick of Winston Churchill Manatees, that means first pick should be 1.
You know what? We're gonna get there.
Eventually, I hope. But nothing is getting done, which leads me to believe my message was not received.
I like your hat.
Thanks, bud.
Your NGS hat.
Yep, it's a HGC hat that has been commandeered by an NGS button. So now it's an NGS hat. So, Infernal Shrines. It's all about the monkey clear. Merc Camp's important. Who do you like on the old Infernal Shrines?
It's hard to say. I actually am not that familiar with these teams, but on Infernal Shrines, you always like to see something like Alex Straza with the Dragon Queen that helps. Commander Odin on Tychus. Your Kerrigan, she's always fun. All these are great picks to be aggressive and to take control of the shrine. Yeah, the production's difficult, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it happen.
All right. And certain heroes, maybe that you don't see on a lot of other ones. Alex Straza comes to mind. Maybe not as viable on other maps, but definitely good on shrines. So could see that as we vamp to buy some time to let our teams fix who goes where.
So, do you know how many times this map has been picked so far?
They actually just posted it the other day, but it's a lot. It's far and away the most played map in NGS this season.
Yeah, I wonder why Braxis isn't the favorite one.
Because Braxis is terrible, is why.
Hey, I picked it. I'm trying.
Literally nothing is getting done in lobby.
Bring Braxis back. We've got the emoji.
There we go. So now we're getting somewhere.
The emoji game is strong.
Emoji game is strong in chat. All right, well, I think it's all ready to go now, so hopefully Wipeout will actually get a game moving along. It's been an interesting 7 or so minutes as the noob caster played the wrong intro video. Our teams were playing Lobby Shuffle. But I see 3 R's. I'm hoping get going here any moment now.
Okay.
Any moment now.
Did you say me? Because I'm not the host.
I'm not the host either. Dexter. There we go.
Somebody hit the button. Now. We're going to get it going.
All right. Infernal Shrines, first pick, first ban for our friends on Jailbail. What are you seeing up in Division A bans wise? Let's see if they line up here.
Usually, it depends what you want to take. So the Alex is an easy one. Anna to prevent because she prevents the Alex. She's a good counter. I think Anna's a good ban. There's your anything with good wave clear because that's always important.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of Anna bans still. The new bans have fallen off a little bit. Still seeing a little bit of them, but not quite as many as before. I think
Diablo's a good.
I was gonna say Diablo. I don't see him picked a lot in ours, but I see him banned a lot. So that's I'm not quite sure where people feel about him.
And there's the wave clear and the shrine clear on the Kalthas. I think Diablo's fallen off partly because Anna's just being played so much, and she's just really good into Diablo. Sure. She prevents the self-healing. And Diablo lately has a bit of a hard time. Like he's great late game, but early game he has to get sold and isn't as strong.
And it also strikes me as mages seem to have fallen off a little bit, and I think Diablo is stronger in a mage auto attackers.
Yeah, for sure.
Damage. Either way, Johanna banned out as Jailbail is employing a bit of a tank choke here with the Johanna Diablo ban. Flip side, Garrosh banned out, by Winston Churchill. Manatees leaving Anna up and available.
Yeah, there's Anna, or just take your favorite tank that's left. So ATC still is still a good good tank. There we go.
Yep. And chat
Which-
telling us Coffin is a monster player too.
For the frozen throne!
And then the immediate response with the Anubarak from the Winston Churchill Manatees. Zeratul still on the board. Jackster played a pretty mean Li Ming last week, but instead it's, or I was a Gray main last week, but instead it's going to be the Li single target blow up the name of the game right now.
Well, I'm curious if somebody does pick up the Kerrigan, she'd work well with both the tanks, and with the Li Ming, you get the resets.
I think it's a little bit early for a Li Ming because her single target burst damage can be kind of counterpicked. She's not a terribly contested hero right now. Other side, those are both fairly contested as a pretty good dynamic duo on the backline there with Jaina and Greymane.
Yeah. I was wondering whether a Maiev would come out, but obviously that's not necessarily a comfort for these teams, or they're not looking for the combo. I think Manatees could still go for the Kerrigan. But Anna hasn't been picked up yet. She works with both teams right now.
Speaking of the Alex Straza, though, she will not be played. Chen's still on the board. I think he's probably top solo laner right now if you have a player, so something to watch out for there.
I still like my Blaze.
And Blaze is really good on shrines as well. The oil, it makes it very difficult to engage into. It gives him a lot of zone control.
So the Lyric, it's either a specific ban against someone who plays it, or they're probably looking to take maybe a Blaze or something beefier later on.
Possibly. There's the Sylvan. So if you want blow up, there's your blow up. You have Li Ming 7-sided, I would assume.
And importantly, they have at least 2 Mosh or 3 Mosh interrupts right now. So, and they're both range. So Mosh will be actually hard to come by.
Not a lot of wave clear coming out though for Winston Churchill Manatees. You think that would be addressed with that last pick? Possibly. But they do have a lot of pressure with the Sylve. There's a Yrel and a Tronda. So pretty standard stuff from Jailbait. You got your 2-2-1.
Yeah. And the Leo ban makes sense into Yrel.
Yeah, and when assuming with the Jaina, Greymane's going to go Executioner, then the Splash at 20. If they get that late in the game, that particular combo is going to be very painful. Oh! We got the Spice! Hey-oh!
I love it. I don't know that we'd win games with that, but
I mean,
I love the Spice.
If you're going to do it, what you really do is you go Butcher with Falstad, so you lamb to the slaughter and you blow the rest of the team away. I mean, if you're going to be really cute about it, right?
Yeah, and they have the combo set up. They have the Silence, Anub, and potentially the 7-sided, although I wouldn't discount the Palm on Butcher just to keep him stacks.
Fascinating. It's been a hot minute Wipeout since I've casted a Butcher game. And typically, the Butcher games you tend to see in the wild west that is like Division D or occasionally Division D. But I'm excited. This is going to be
How do you not cheer for the Butcher?
Fun. I mean, you have to, right?
You have to. But into a Yrel?
It's dicey. I mean, that's confidence, if nothing else. I love the confidence.
Okay, he's my favorite.
I didn't get a chance to show the standings pregame, so while we're loading up, it's a good time to show that. This is Division B East right now. Winston Churchill Manatees bringing up the rear a little. Have picked up a couple points, but not too many. And Jailbait kind of middle of the pack right now, sitting at 4th, so they've had some wins and some losses, but in a solid place. And that brings us to Game 1, Infernal Shrines. On the left, Jailbait. We have Cawthon on ETC, H-O on Bond, Bragg Stellar on Greymane, Calaxy on Jaina, and Kobo on Yrel.
And on the right side, we have Jackster on the Li Ming, K-Wolf on Sylvanas, Cheekies on Anubrag, Kamian on Karazim, and Rogine on the Butcher.
I think this game is gonna, I don't know.
Devolve into brawls? I like it.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the Butcher right, you just kind of know you're giving up the early game a little bit because he needs to stack. And I like the change they made with him where he can't just stack by farming minion waves. It really makes it much faster for him to collect kills while also not dying himself, right?
Well, I think they're also going to basically get 2 waves, right? They're going to rotate between mid and bottom, I'm assuming.
That will help, but it's still the fastest way to stack Butcher is for him to secure some kills and also not die himself. That's really good. Meanwhile, top lane, we have the classic duel of solo lane Sylvanas versus Yrel. And as long as Sylvanas kind of stays safely at range, she should be okay. Don't want to eat those.
And Jailbait's really avoiding all fights altogether. They're just clearing and moving, and they're doing a really good job at macroing and out clearing Manatees.
Well, their wave clear is significantly better. That's really a heads-up play. It's look at this, though. The 2 tanks anchoring don't know the other is there.
Anoob's pretty deep.
He is, but looks like Winston Churchill Manatees trying to force out something. Butcher's looking for his moment. Greymane too far out. I think Greymane's in trouble. There goes the Butcher charge. Stun lands. Heals coming out from Cawthon. It will not matter. Greymane goes down, and then they go in on the point now. H2O in trouble. Great Blizzard by Calaxy. But
nice aggressive play by Manatees. Butcher's getting his meat stacks.
Yeah. Oh, top lane. Sylvanas goes down to the Yrel. Well, you know what I was starting to say before that breaks out is, playing against a Butcher is kind of similar to playing against a Kel'Thuzad. You just want to do everything you can to stall stacking, right? So don't skirmish very much. Avoid them if you can. And Winston Churchill Manatees kind of did the opposite there. They know that they want to get in there and mix it up and get that kill. And that was really good patience by Brogene, waiting and waiting and waiting for his charge. And when Greymane was just finally too low, he took his kill, sitting at 45 stacks, 2 minutes, 30 seconds in. Is not too chatty.
Well, what's interesting is that even with that kill, Jailbail are still up in XP. They're level 5. They're controlling the macro really well. So I think Manatees will have to take a few more risks here.
Yeah, that XP lead definitely partially because the Sylvanas died, so she missed a wave. Speaking of invasion, here comes Manatees again. Now, Anubrak is on the point. Tehran is in trouble. ETC is still down there. And so ETC, I think, was able to use the face melt to secure the point. No kills on either side. But between the 2 Merc camps, the Sylv Death and the Mist XP soak, that's your level difference right here. Not much, but a little bit.
Oh, Winston Churchill Manatees are still threatening. They're trying to catch the Jailbail in their rotation, but not quite. Toronto playing good positioning and just got out in time.
And I like the controlled aggression from Winston Churchill Manatees, trying to get the Butcher stacks, but they're not being silly about it, although Butcher's not quite here yet, so I'd be careful with that. Now they are arriving with 22 Shrine Monkeys already secured by Jailbait, so they need to get in here now if they want to bully them off.
Who's going to get the vision? So there goes the Butcher charging in. He's getting stunned, slid by ETC. And there goes stacks.
I love what H2O did on Tyrande. He's holding the Lunar Flare. The charge on Butcher is so telegraphed, you know right where he's going to be. So use the Lunar Flare to peel. ETC came in with the Power Slide to peel him off. And a nice little counter kill there.
Yeah, I think Manatees did a really good job of pushing Jailbail out, and I think that last charge by Butcher was just a little too greedy, and he was basically alone, caught out in the middle of nowhere. But Manatees are still holding their own. Yeah,
they're trying. They're not going to get this objective. They're already at 37. Shrine Monkeys. Maybe they get a cheeky kill. Look at how low Jaina is, and there's the problem. Down goes Jaina. Greymane low as well, but he does escape. So some more meat for the Butcher, and the Shrine is at 38. And they're doing a nice job of zoning away. ETC is low enough to be chunked out. The Leeming combo does miss. Yrel trying to peel, smacking the Butcher away. While Tyrande is slowly, oh so slowly, clearing out the Shrine Monkeys on the back end.
Yeah, still 2 monkeys left for Jailbail. They're going to try and step up for the last 2, but Are Manatees going to get it? They're being very aggressive, pushing into them.
I think they will eventually get it, although point blank stun on Jaina. There's the Lunar Flare on the Butcher. Butcher now in trouble.
Left.
Stun.
And
Butcher goes down, and there's the Immortal. A for effort from Winston Churchill Manatees, but their Shrine Clear is not particularly fast either, Wipeout.
yeah, they were holding it really well, but how do you defend against two? So they just pulled the Punisher. Cheeky's got beaten up by the Punisher a little bit. Euro split off to Soak, and Butcher, their Manatees are going to defend this 5.
Down goes Karazim. Anub goes in full bore with no mana, and now he's in trouble. Fragstellar able to secure the kill. Butcher deep on the backside. They do get Greymane, but Butcher goes down as well. I don't know if he was able to pick up the stacks before he died. But about a full level advantage, structure advantage. On the verge of 10 is Jailbait. Himibo, you didn't miss anything because I don't comment on talents too much, but specifically ETC Guitar Hero. That's actually one I've been monkeying with a little bit. I do like it on Infernal Shrines. I kind of go back and forth between Prog Rock and Guitar Hero at 1 for ETC. And if you are going to go Guitar Hero at 1, I prefer Hammer On at 7 myself. Especially because they're not particularly light on wave clear, so I'm not just a fan of Echo Pedal generally. So maybe he's going state. No, he went Mosh Pit, so I don't know why the Echo Pedal is there. But that's my opinion on Guitar Hero. Is I've been messing with it. I'm probably taking Guitar Hero and Prog Rock about 50-50.
See, I love Echo Pedal for the extra wave clear. I think that's something that is always lacking in having a tank that's able to clear is never a bad thing.
Yeah, they have Jaina and Greymane, and it's just ETC doesn't need to provide it here.
So interesting. Ural is clearing up top, and no one's responding to it. Jailbait are getting a ton of XP just by getting all the wins. All right, both teams have 10. Are we going to look for a fight now?
Could happen. So we have Wave of Force, Lamb to the Slaughter, Wailing Arrow, Cocoon, and 7-sided Strike for Winston Churchill Manatees.
And there goes the ring on Butcher. Butcher goes down. Karazim makes it out, and Cheeky's makes it out as well. So
there's a pretty big Wailing Arrow on top of that. Hit 4 or 5 people. It probably prevented Winston Churchill Manatees from losing that harder. A big Wailing Arrow by K-Wolf there. But unfortunately, Butcher going down again. He's really struggling to stack.
yeah, he was playing really patient initially, but some of those dashes you have to go in, you have to commit, and you have to take those risks. And unfortunately, right now they're not paying off. But if you look at Li Ming, the damage, the siege damage, and hero damage right now, Jackster is just putting out a ton of damage.
Yeah, but they're not getting the resets they need to get max value out of Li Ming. Part of that is because Butcher is struggling. And also,
65 stacks.
Yeah, and also, Jailbait's doing a really great job of holding their CC. So when Butcher goes in, he's done. He can't stay in there once he goes in. There's a Lunar Flare waiting for him. There's an ETC waiting for him. Speaking of Butcher on the Tyrande, there's the Lamb to the Slaughter, though. Now the game might change, except for it doesn't. Nice 3-man mosh pit. Even though he only held it for a second, it was long enough, but a 3-man route leads to Sylvanas and Li Ming going down. Butcher soon to follow. Only Tyrande has fallen here by Jailbait. Anubarak in trouble. This should be a 4-4-1 momentarily as soon as that power slide comes back online. There it is.
Now, what would have happened? How would the fight turn out if Karazim went palm instead of 7-sided? I get the reasoning for it, but I think you just need that extra save with the dive.
Yeah, that's possible. I think you're seeing part of the reason why you just don't see a lot of Butcher games. It's hard to do. Hard to make it work.
Yeah, on top of it, you add the lack of wave clear, and well, let's face it, Jailbait were at 13, so they had that talent lead. They waited it out, played a really good macro game, and the Shrine just spawned at the right time. They were 13 and 2 levels up.
And you know, tanks never get any love, but big tip of the hat to Cawthon, who's just doing a really nice job of controlling the Butcher engagements.
Yeah, ATC. There's a reason why ATC is just so good right now. His win rate's solid because he's got such a good kit. It's not even about the mosh. It's not about getting the 4 or 5 man mosh. It's just the kit that's so good.
Yeah, he has a fantastic kit. The best peeling tank in the game. One of the best initiation tanks in the game.
All right, who's gonna catch it? Cheek, perfect.
Well played
he's
there.
gonna drag it back.
Yeah, nice play by Cheekies. Front
So
wall.
they're defending S5 again. That's interesting. I mean, so they'll be able to defend and probably won't lose a key. But Jailbait, they're catching mid, so they're going to get probably the middle fort as well.
Yeah, and part of the problem with the comp here from Winston Churchill Manatees, they don't really have that kind of off laner to send to deal with the Yrel. Butcher really wants to be with the team to help enable him and collect those stacks. So they really just don't have someone to send over there, frankly.
Yeah, I wonder if... I mean, as much as I love the Butcher, I will never argue against a Butcher pick. It's just... It's so hard, and this map does kind of snowball a little bit. It's hard to get back, so you're always kind of on the back foot. Now, having said that, you can always turn around, so... As soon as Butcher's stacked, he's at 75 stacks right now.
Yeah,
let's get it going.
Far too slow because of the deaths, unfortunately. Having said all of that, though, if Winston Churchill Manatees up, Nubrak forced to burrow away, the Manatees retreating safely to their base. If Winston Churchill Manatees, if they win an objective, pick up a couple kills along the way, they have a Sylve. And one of the few things that you don't really talk about with Butcher is when he is stacked, he also shreds through structures, like, really fast.
They have to win the objective.
But they have to win the objective first, absolutely.
And now they're 2 levels up, they're talent tier up, they're going to push that keep, and how do you get back? They want to be aggressive, Jailbait. They're looking for 1 pick, and then they get a keep.
Yeah, nice job by Winston Churchill Manatees, though, staying nice and safe, keeping themselves out of trouble.
And the next shrine is top, so that's in a way good for Winston Churchill Manatees because the camps that spawn, they go top lane. So even if... Oh, they're going to fight for it? Okay. Good invade by Jailbait.
Yeah, absolutely. Jailbait can basically do whatever they want on the map right now. There's not a lot that Winston Churchill Manatees can stop it.
Yeah, so one of the problems is that a lot of the lanes, they're actually pushed out on the side of Winston Churchill Manatee, so they can't soak safely. So all they got is they have to clear and be always out in lane where they're in danger of getting caught out.
Now, silver linings, though, for Winston Churchill Manatees. Looking at the levels, they should get 16 before the next objective pops, and that will be their 1 crack at a same talent tier fight.
Alright, so what would you do different in this engage? Who do you... I mean...
Well, I think you have to open it up with Cocoon, right? Maybe you Cocoon the ETC, and you go past him onto the Tyrande. Because ETC is peeling his brains out, but you know that still leaves Yrel, who can serve a similar function, frankly.
Yeah, and they're staying S5. Jailbait is basically just being nice and careful. They know that they have the talent tier advantage for the next little bit. We're going to have a big fight now, though. Manatees are going to be 16. This will be...
There it is.
ETC controlling the vision there.
I mean, at the same time, you could also Cocoon Yrel and Lamb to the Slaughter ETC and blow him up. For all of his strength, ETC is not a beefy tank. No pun intended.
So they're holding Cocoon. They're not looking to engage real quick. They're being, I like Cheeky's being patient and waiting for the right time to engage. And at the same time, Manatees are just following their tank. But that's good.
Well, the problem is, Manatees have already lost the objective.
Oh, okay. Cocoon goes out. Big fight.
3-man Mosh. But there's the Jaina just coming out of the Cocoon. And down goes a Nubarak Wailing Arrow to try to peel. Seven-sided does secure a kill onto Yrel and Greymane. So that's actually Winston Churchill Manatees getting the 2-for-1. It really shouldn't matter as they're sitting at 39 Shrine Monkeys. ETC is just going to go in here and smack a couple with his guitar. And that will be that. However, that will get Butcher much closer to his stacks to unanswered kills like that.
Yeah, that's a big however. So now Winston Manatees, even though they lost the objective, they're still back in it. I don't think they lose. They'll clear pretty quick with only 3 people up on the side of Jailbait.
Dexter in trouble, though. There's the power slide. There's the Lunar Flare. John Cena from downtown. Down goes Li Ming. Sylvanas was forced to go bottom because there were 2 or 3 katas on that bottom keep. Butcher.
Butcher's going to go down, or is he?
Yes. And I think this might be it here, Wipeout.
Even S3, they got 2 kills, 2 unanswered kills. That's
Yeah, Jax got hit with the owl, so it slowed him down, and then ETC setting up John Cena with the big power slide. Sylv was forced not to be there to keep the bottom keep up. And now are they going to go for triple keep, or are they going to core? A little indecision here out of Jailbait. I think they're waiting for Yrel and Greymane to get here.
I actually think they're being smart. The Punisher is super low, so they could get engaged on any minute. They're going to back out and just take a fight that's actually fully in their advantage.
Butcher not up for another 8 seconds. Level 20s are here.
And Butcher still has a long way to go, only at 135 stacks.
And if you want to see a team get shredded, we have Greymane, Executioner with Hunter's Blunderbuss and a Jaina.
And 2 full levels. Only Manatees, Winston Churchill Manatees only just hit 18. So Jailbait have 2 full levels to play around and see if they can bush gang someone or take the entire map.
And once again, this is going to be Jailbait's map to do with what they will. They can just move around the map however they want. If you're Winston Churchill Manatees, maybe you bush a camp. That might be a call that I would make, but the problem is they have so much lane maintenance to do, they can't really stay in one place for very long because they're going to have to go somewhere else.
And we're going to get a fight now. Jailbait are looking for a fight. They know they've got all the buttons. They know that they're talent tier up. They are going to take their every camp that they want.
I'm surprised ETC isn't going to that bush. There he is. I was kind of waiting for that flank there. And now here comes Jailbait looking for that 20 advantage fight. And I want Jailbait to hold Winston Churchill Manatees here. They don't even need to do anything. They can just hold them there, and that bottom camp is going to do work.
Yeah, camp pushing bottom, camp pushing top, and the team as 5 pushing middle key.
Yep, and then once they show bottom to clear that out, then you can step in and put some damage on the structure should you choose to.
I honestly think this is where you just engage. You have a keep, even though you're talent tier down, just use that cocoon, getting there quick, and just get what you can.
I think
there
so.
You go. But no cocoon, they held it. Silence is out. So no arrow for the final fight.
I think if they were a hair faster, they could have taken down the ETC there. He was really low, but bottom keep does fall, leaving only 1 keep standing for Winston Churchill Manatees. Greymane shredding the Anubrak, forcing him to go back, and here's the last stand. There's the cocoon onto Greymane, instantly burned out. 1-man mosh pit on a noob, instantly interrupted. Here goes Butcher on to Greymane, or ETC cancels the charge. Lamb to the slaughter only catches 1. Ring catches 1 as well. But down goes Butcher.
And this is the end. I mean, Death Mosh will just seal the deal. I love it.
So that is 3 for 1. Jailbait will begin their victory march on the core, securing game 1 over Winston Churchill.
Well played by Jailbait. They controlled the map the entire time. They knew what they drafted well. They control the macro. They control wave clearing, and they didn't lose objectives.
Yeah, it was a very standard, very straightforward comp. They didn't overreact to the Butcher. They held their CC for him. They made it really difficult for him. Down goes Sylvanas, and down goes game for 1.
So I think any other pick other than Butcher would have would have been a much closer game. That Butcher was just so hamstrung because Jailbait played it nice and safe and didn't give meat. I mean, Butcher didn't get stacked.
I think Butcher is one of those heroes where the only time you can like really pick him is a last pick and everything looks perfect. Like no chance to counter him. The other team's definitely not going to see it coming because nobody ever picks Butcher, right? So it's one of those last picks that you're like, damn, does that Butcher look spicy? And if it's not that, I think it's just so hard to pull off.
Oh, it looked perfect, but on the side of Jailbail.
Correct. So game number 1, over to Jailbait over Winston, Churchill, Manatees.
No, I did like the start. Winston, Churchill, Manatees did start patient, and they were trying to keep up with the clear. But I think that in the end, they kind of fell to panic or trying to get the kill, trying to get the stacks. It's something that I fall prey to a lot, and yeah, it just unfortunately didn't pay off.
And not just the Butcher, but also Winston, Churchill, Manatees was struggling with wave clear as well. They really didn't have a great answer for all of the mercenaries on the map. It was, a snowball. Once those were on the map, they couldn't really do much of anything.
But here's the thing. I love the fact that they picked Butcher, and I'm really looking forward to something fun for the next game.
All right, so let's see where we are going to go for game. Yep. I was invited to a party, and then that's what happened to me.
And I'll just sit here and wait.
If I get back. There we go. So it looks like we are going to Battlefield of Eternity. And let's get you in here.
So I'm curious, who picked Battlefield?
Jailbait picked.
Well, you could see that they play the Greymane, so will the Greymane come out or will he be banned?
Absolutely. Figuring out the map thing. So all the one.
And this is why I co-cast. I don't have to do anything but watch.
I love Coke. There we go. So while we're waiting for lobby, let's show the nice people the wonderful map selector tool that the one, the only, the legend himself, Weenus, has made for our caster community.
Okay, so did I make the team this time?
Maybe.
Did I make Jailbait?
We'll find out. So Winston, Churchill, Manatees opting for first pick. Jailbait taking them to Battlefield of Eternity. And the other thing too about the kind of unorthodox composition that Winston, Churchill, Manatees ran there is, honestly, I don't think you learn too much from it. So in a way, it doesn't show anything either. So you can maybe break out something different that game one in no way whatsoever prepared Jailbait for.
Well, that's the thing. You're right. If they had picked a good hero rather than Butcher. No, I love the Butcher. I love the confidence that they came in with, and we're ready to just go in there with the Butcher.
Amy Bo appreciated that you said the Butcher was hamstrung. Get it?
Oh,
Get
it? I saw it. The pun did not escape me.
Well, and one of the other things too that I like about the Battlefield of Eternity pick, if you're the side of Winston, Churchill, Manatees, and you reflect back on that first game, and you're like, you know what, they kind of out macroed us. This is a map that you can take them to if you feel like the other team is stronger with their macro game, that you can kind of take that advantage away from them. So from that regard, I kind of like the pick if that's the reason that they're going there. Although this was
Jailbait's
choice of map, so ignore everything because that didn't make any sense.
And I feel like it makes a lot of sense because they seemed really clean in their team fights. They backed up when they had to back up as a
Sure,
team. They didn't
absolutely.
give free kills. They didn't weren't caught out in rotations. It was a really clean game from them. And I feel like they're very confident in their team fights, which this map is all about that.
So now the big question is, it's game 2, Wipeout. That means the targeted bans can come out. Who earned the respect ban here in game 2?
I don't know. Do you really want to play into an ETC and frankly the
I,
noob? Like
I think it's
which
the
tank would you?
I think it's the ETC is going the
Yeah,
controlling the space around the immortal stuns. I love personally playing ETC on BOE and really punish poor positioning by just forcing them onto the stuns. You know, just an extra tool in your tool belt. Cawthon clearly knows how to play him. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the ETC ban coming out.
well, having said that, Diablo, this is one of, in my opinion, one of Diablo's stronger maps. A lot of walls to bang on,
Correct.
and it's a really good map for him. I wonder if that will be the first, one of the first bans.
Now, I will say the only issue with Diablo on BOE, though, is once you lose those stacks, it's much harder to get them back on battle. But otherwise, I do like Diablo on.
Yeah, and then there's always the counter pick as a Garrosh.
Who's also very strong here for that zone control to tuck your opponent into those immortal stuns. But we are off and going. Game number 2 on Battlefield of Eternity.
There goes the impartial DB Smiley. Let's go jailbait. All right, first ban on the side of Winston, Churchill, Manatees. Like you said, I think the ETC is worth a ban. Potentially Diablo. Yeah, Tyrana's always a good solo or healer to ban out as well because she enables the race. You've got the Grey Mane that played really well. All right, Diablo off the table.
So no Diablo, as you suggested. That coming from Winston Churchill. And I think last game that was reverse, right? Yeah, it was Jailbail who actually did the tank choke last game. So swapping first bans.
Yeah, so we'll see if they. Okay, Johanna's more of a. Okay, are they going to go for the Grey Mane again for auto attacks or at least auto attack heroes?
Toronto as well.
Yeah.
Really well too. I think it was H2O on Toronto was really on point with those lunar flares and. All right. Alarak banned out. Love that ban. He is so strong on Battlefield. If you know the other team has an Alarak player, do not let them play them on Battlefield Eternity.
I hate Alarak. I hate Alarak with a passion. Yeah. We'll just leave it at that.
I think this is probably his strongest battleground for the same thing. Pulling the enemy into the defensive stuns. It creates such a threat zone that you have to respect. Garrosh being banned out, and that does leave ETC up. So now the only way for Winston Churchill Manatees to deny Cawthon ETC is to take him themselves and leave them to Ronda Greymane. And that's what they do.
Yeah, so it's turned a little bit. I'm wondering whether Anu will be. Now, you don't have to pick him in the first rotation, although he could be banned out. It's probably worth a pick, and then whether you take the Ana or the Tyrande.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Tyrande Greymane.
And then what DPS? I think Greymane's. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Confidence in the Greymane and the Tyrande. I like it.
I mean, both are. It's maybe both of their best battlegrounds. The Hunter's Mark, the Burn on the Immortal. I mean, unless Winston Churchill Manatees just picks for Burn the rest of the way, Jailbail has essentially already picked a comp that wins the Burn.
Yeah. So I think this is potentially where you pick for a defend type of comp, something like even a Artanis with his blind. Lily double support will do the blind. All right, we're going double support.
We are. That's one way to neuter the Greymane, though, is the blinds.
And your team fights, you're going to out-sustain. So unless Jailbait go for a blow-up, they shouldn't be getting all these kills. But they have the race so far. And lane control.
I like that ban. ETC and Jaina are really strong together.
Yeah, it takes Jaina off that blow-up. And... Okay, what do you ban now? On the side of Manatees?
I'm a tank, frankly.
Maybe.
Nubarak. Varian is a good one too, sure. I mean, Varian Taunt, Lunara, Lunar Flare. I mean, that's a real threat too. Although you have two tanks, one of them who has a cleanse, so or two supports, one of them has a cleanse, so maybe less worried about that. Unless they were thinking it was going to be like a Sea Smash Windblades Varian.
Or are we looking at a reason to ban Varian because of Shield Breaker? There's always, I guess, a Phoenix.
And there's the big front line. That is a whole lot of CC out of Jailbait there.
Not gonna lie, I like that comp a lot. That's a good draft. That's solid pretty much on any map, but on this map with the Greymane Burn and the Anub and Imperius front line, that's really solid. You need a tank burn.
Alright, so they're going for blinds, and more blinds, and the slow burn damage on the Lunara.
Okay, so my question is, how do you kill the Anub?
Very slowly. You wait for Tyrande to run out of mana.
Now, Artanis does burn really well. It's deceptively fast. So they can compete to some extent. Amateur opponent will burn the Immortal, but wow. Jailbait have a classic comp. I think it's just standard, safe. You could play it any night of the week, and just like they're all just simple comps. You're not looking for a huge combo. It's just much easier to pull off. I don't know.
And the Kerosene really is not... Like, I'm trying to think, other than Divine Palm, what tools... I mean, Lily can get the cleanse, right? But neither one of those has, like, a big burst heal. Earth Ally will help. But when Jailbait locks onto somebody, I kind of want to see what the response is from Winston Churchill Manatees. Because you get the Burrow Charge, the Stun, the Impale, the Lunar Flare, the Hunter's Mark, the Leaming stuff, Greymane, Curse... I mean, there's so much, like, hold this person down and explode them coming out of... Jailbait. I want to see what Winston Churchill Manatees is going to do to avoid that.
I wonder if at some point, are we going to get a Mosh? Because there's really no blow up on Mosh.
I mean,
so
maybe?
Go solo?
Who knows? Alright. Jailbait going for the 2-0 domination. Galaxy on Li Ming. H-O on Tyrande. Cothin on Anubarak. Frag Stellar on the Greymane, and Kobo on Imperius.
And on the right side, Winston Churchill Manatees on Artanis Jackster, Brogene on the Lunara, K-Wolf 55 on ATC, Cheekies TV on Lily, and Kimian on Kerosene.
So Artanis Imperius will square off from the top lane. This race will be hard won by Jailbait, so that means if you're Winston Churchill Manatees, you've got to step in and drive them off of your Immortal. And you're probably going to have to kill people. Speaking of killing people, though, HTO in trouble there. Big stun, and then the follow-up stun, and the side of Winston Churchill Manatees is melting. K-Wolf running for his life, as is Lunara, and that is an early tap, sub 1 minute.
Yeah, K-Wolf just made it out, and if the Greymane just got that cocktail over the wall, then that would have been it.
So Cawthon flexing there a little bit. Those are some 2 big stuns there.
Up top, Artanis is botting the Imperius. He's doing really well into clearing the wave and keeping control of it.
Yeah, I don't know the laning matchups very well, but Artanis seems to be doing just fine.
Definitely, and will we get... No, we will not get a kill, but again, Artanis is just being a bully.
Yeah, I think these...
Shame.
the way these fights are going to go Wipeout is if Jailbait gets the initial blow up and reset, the fight's over. Like, Li Ming got a reset, you're down. But if they can get these things going long and they can kind of last past that initial burst blow up damage, then maybe they can make something happen with the double support and the Lunara.
Well, so this time, while they have a really good burn, Jailbait didn't draft amazing wave clear, and with Lunara, eventually you'll get really good wave clear, so they can actually control the wave better. But yeah, no, I think that they're just going to stalemate bottom, and we'll see what happens up top. I think that's where maybe Artanis gets an advantage, maybe gets a camp going.
So Winston, Churchill, Manatees rotating on the top bruisers. Jailbait, knowing this, decided to go ahead and just take down that bottom fort, or tower, I should say, and secure bottom siege giants, and return to their own bruisers shortly here, I would imagine. So even on a map that is light in macro, showing a little bit of a better macro sense here in the first few minutes of the game.
Yeah, so what's that going to do is Artanis will have an edge in the lane a little bit. He could potentially just go get a camp or start the race early. They're going... Wow, Manatees are going to invade. That's not a bad idea. They get the... Wow, nice invade. And they might get a kill too. Beauty.
Jaxter picking up the Li Ming, barely getting away.
In trouble.
I mean, he's got Lily there. Press Q, Lily. Press Q.
Roll on that keyboard.
So nice invade. They used the Wisp there to scout that there were only 2 members there. Then they went in hard. Karazim getting on the point, holding it down, stealing it. And now Winston, Churchill, Manatees, despite having a comp that is not as good at burning, use that Artanis and that Karazim to just rip halftime.
And ETC clearing bot. So they were S4. And they get the right side to attack, though. Jailbait defending. This should be just patient defense. Greymane going right on the raise.
Yeah, I like that decision. Just send Greymane back. Have the rest of your team stall it out here. But now it's a 5-on-4 in favor of Winston, Churchill, Manatees. They do manage to juke the Immortal stun, diving right back in. Greymane is shredding the Immortal, though, and now rejoining the fight. Burrow charge hits
Coffin
2.
Went in deep.
And then the counter charge. Great play there by K. Wolf on the counter engage on the burrowing Anubarak. The swap does not hit anybody. Everybody but Lily avoids the Immortal stun. And now Artanis and Lunara are burning the Immortal, while the rest of Winston, Churchill, Manatees are harassing and bothering Jailbait here. But they need to be careful. First Immortal, I'm going to say a little surprisingly Wipeout, going to Winston, Churchill, Manatees.
Yeah, and I think all of that was set up by the really nice invade onto the bruisers. There's this kill on Greymane that, wow. Do they seem angry to you?
They're certainly playing aggressive, and Karazim in particular has shown absolutely no fear. And if you're lacking an assassin, like their double support comp is, Karazim wants to get in there and punch things in the face. What he's doing.
We have an Iron Fist assassin, Karazim. Yeah, I was questioning where your blow-up's going to come from, but Karazim and Lunara are doing a hell of a job of getting those picked.
And this is going to be maybe a full fort on the first Immortal, which is a little bit unusual on BOE. That is definitely max value. They're a full level lead, 3 unanswered kills, 1 fort down. And Winston, Churchill, Manatees, Coffin maybe too far again. There's the counter engage. Power Slide does not hit on the tank. It does hit on Greymane, who is in trouble, but then turns on a low ETC, who says, I have 2 supports, and I'm going to walk the other direction.
I like it. I like the aggression. I think ETC just played it perfectly.
What a
and
swap
a Greymane
by Jaxter, coming in on the flank, leaving Imperious to do his own thing. Big flank by Jaxter, hitting the swap, getting the kill on the Greymane, and Winston, Churchill, Manatees showing big signs of life.
So I think Jaxter was doing a hell of a job on the Li Ming last game, but now I think he's setting up the plays for his team. He rotated smartly up top when he saw that the fight's happening, and basically just gave his team a numbers advantage and got the swap.
Yeah, and I'm sure maybe he missed a little soak bottom, but it was probably pretty minimal with as much as he's been pushing in these waves.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I know there's been a lot of complaints about solo lane being boring. Look at the Artanis, look at what Jaxter is able to accomplish by clearing waves and being where his team needs him, making a quick rotation. So that was a really good call on his part.
Alright, so level 9 here for Winston Churchill. Manatees about a half level up. 20 seconds before the Immortals will spawn one more time. Owl does not reveal anybody on the camp, so I imagine now Winston Churchill Manatees will jump on their Bruiser. This time, Jailbait, maybe wary of that invasion, features a Nubarak anchoring far away and basically the full team getting this Bruiser camp.
Yeah, Winston Churchill Manatees get their camp as well, so it's going to be who's going to clear theirs and who's going to attack. It seems that both teams are going for the attack right away.
Yeah,
ET's going.
I was going to say, with the favorable swap onto Greymane, though, hit by the Water Dragon. Winston Churchill Manatees going hard with their tents. There's the Mosh Pit, but Hey Wolf going a little too deep there, and they're actually losing this fight without tens on board for Jailbait.
Artanis is still sort of a tank with two. Oh, no. Unfortunately, his two healers weren't there for him, and now it's turning into an immortal for Jailbait.
Yeah, and that was pre-10 5v5 that they won that. You don't see that very much.
Yeah, ETC even tried the mosh pit, but that was interrupted pretty quick.
Well, yeah, it's easy to interrupt it when you kill him, because he didn't have a lot of health. And you see the burn comp for Jailbait coming online there, that phase.
Now again, Artanis actually with the top damage in the game. That's insane.
Yeah, he's been perma-brawling with Imperius, padding his stats. Jackster cheating scorebook here.
Yeah, no, it's definitely good to call out this cheater.
So both teams here, 5-on-5, a fairly strong Immortal. 10s on board for both sides. We didn't really have a chance to call those out. And we will in a moment, as there's all of the lockdown going on to Winston Churchill. Manatees Water Dragon hits too. Now stepping in is Jailbait. Damage, Suppression Pulse going onto the Immortal. All the members. The swap just misses the Greymane. This Immortal still sitting at about half health though. Stun from a Nubarak doesn't hit anybody, but that Power Slide does, catching 3. Now Imperius is in trouble, as is a Nubarak, cocooning out the Artanis as Jailbait runs for their lives. Now he's back. Immortal goes down. Fort goes down. Everybody's still alive, though definitely feeling the effects of those.
Yeah, that was a strong defense on the side of Jailbait, or on the side of Manatees. I wonder what they're going to do, because they know that the other side was pretty chunked. Are they going to go bottom and contest that camp? They are. But they're scudded out with the Owl. Are we going to get a fight? Nah, Jailbait are going to back out.
So level 10, Suppression Pulse, Leaping Strike, Mosh Pit, Water Dragon, and 7-Sided. We'll talk about Jailbait here in a minute. There goes the big engage onto the point. Mosh Pit instantly interrupted, but the double support is coming in big because those red health bars look good. Artanis YOLOing in, not able to get the resets on the Li Ming just yet. Camp is secured by Winston Churchill Manatees. They do their damage and walk away. Or do they?
Oh, nice slide out by the ETC. They got what they wanted, and they're going to just back out and heal up again. It's hard to get those picks.
And for the side of Jailbait, Starfall, that's Angelic Armaments, I believe, and it is Cocoon, Cursed Bullet, and Wave of Force for the Mosh Pit.
Alright, both teams at 12. Winston Churchill Manatees slightly ahead, and they have... they are losing a little bit in structure, but basically we're on even footing.
Yeah, we are slight XP advantage for Winston Churchill Manatees here. They will be to 13 first, but that's not going to be for a little bit yet.
I will deliver this realm from your corruption, Hellspawn.
So defensive positioning for both Immortals. And let's see how these teams approach it. You really want to avoid fighting under the Immortal if you can. Imperius is coming in from the top. Is he going to go aggressive? And he is, looking for either the Lunara or the Karazim. Karazim just punchy fisting the Immortal. And now they're starting to look at him. He wisely backs up.
Well, it's interesting because you have Jackster looking for that engage as well. And, oh, Lily just escapes. Water Dragon goes out. That's 1 kill for Manatees. Do they get a second one?
Yes.
Ooh.
And a third. And that's exactly what I said, Wipeout. If Winston Churchill Manatees can survive that initial burst, if they can survive that initial I'm going to blow this person up, they're going to win these team fights. And Lily just barely did, but she did. And as soon as Lily got out of there, the counter engagement leads to an ace from Winston Churchill Manatees. The Bruiser camp invade and halftime.
Mongoose, is Lily OP?
No.
That's the only answer I can get out of this.
I think Cheeky's managed to press his buttons just in time. But I mean, they spent a lot on her, and when they didn't secure that kill, it was just set up for the double support to come in there and roll over.
I actually think Manatees are playing it really well. They know their comp. They're playing we're going to fight you type of comp. They know they want to fight. They're not going to race. They're looking to fight first. Ask later.
So now a almost full strength Immortal, full level lead advantage for Winston Churchill Manatees. Imperious showing top, leaving 5-on-4 bottom. Immortal will be here shortly. This fort certainly going to go down.
Yeah, Manatees are going to just go S5. They're looking to get fort and potentially pick. That will enable them further pressure. ETC going up ahead. He's looking for a slide. We have ults up.
For both sides here.
Oh,
there's the
Imperious
swap
is in
on
trouble.
Imperious. Tries to impale
Slide
himself to
just
safety.
missed.
Lunara's there, as is the Water Dragon, but here's the counter engage. Cocoon onto a Nubarak, or sorry, Artanis is enough to get the ETC, and now Li Ming's going to get some resets. First bullet goes out.
So you see the change up. They're respecting the Artanis damage and the tankiness, so they're putting that Cocoon on him, killing ETC. They're killing the tank first. Oh, but it's not over. Just trying to go down.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Tyrande doesn't, but Greymane does. Meanwhile, while they were chasing Winston Churchill Manatees around, they lost a keep for the Immortal. Winston Churchill Manatees looking good. The tip of the hat coming out from Fragstellar. Nice play. There's the leaping strike, though. Now it's classic overstay here from Winston Churchill Manatees. They probably should have taken their winnings and gone home after that Greymane kill.
I mean, they did so well, but then a slight ambitious play by the Lunara, by Brogene, jumping in. He thought he had an out, but unfortunately the dive got her. And Lily goes down as well.
And they just should have backed up after the Greymane kill, taken their keep, taken their kill, and gone home.
All right, so teams, when you have an advantage, you press it, but back up in time. Over and over. My team. Die under the towers.
And when we saw the difference there, when they get their blow-up target kill, the team fight's totally different. Like, all of these team fights are just basically, will Jailbait secure the blow-up target?
Yeah, and I think they're adjusting. I think Jailbait are figuring out what to do. They do. I wonder if this is going to be a pattern, basically just Cocoon on the Artanis, because he's causing so much
trouble,
havoc. Yeah, the swaps, the damage, the
suppression pulse on Greymane.
Insane sustain, yeah. So maybe that's the answer.
And speaking of Cocoons, a little bit of counter synergy there. Cocoon actually dodges Cursed Bullet. I think ETC is trying to stay just long enough to get him a teleport out. They're 7-strided, they hold it, but he puts the ally on the other side of the wall. Greymane dives over there with him and gets a revenge kill there by Fragstellar, able to pick up the kill onto Karazim. Here goes everyone else. Swap under towers for Imperious, and then the face melt holding him there, and he does not go down, but Lily does. 2 for none in favor of Jailbait.
I was going to praise Gamian on Karazim for that escape. That was awesome. Great timing. He just had it, and then Greymane went in for the kill.
And Fragstellar said, I owe you one.
Alright, Manatee's still being aggressive while 2 people down. I like it. Mosh isn't going to get any value, unfortunately. And it's on cooldown.
And now ETC is in trouble. They're pushing him back. But Jailbait's actually backing up. I guess they're going to go ahead and rip their Bruiser. Tapping? I guess they're tapping. All right, but now that'll be a 5-on-5 here in just a few moments.
And
ETC in trouble. He is definitely in trouble. Bye, ETC.
And again, I'm just questioning. That palm would have saved him, kept him up. I know you're looking for blow up, but and Artanis is looking like he's the next one to go down.
He is.
And the CC from Imperius, Tyrande, and Anub is just too much.
Well, especially when they're caught out individually like that, there's just no way to.
Yeah, so the whole time, Manatees were playing really well. They were sticking together, looking for picks as a team, and now they're just giving one kill at a time. And that's at the worst time because timers are getting longer and longer.
I will say bottom is going to have to be dealt with here fairly soon. This is 4 katas that I think are going to be locking straight to core here. Yeah, they're straight onto core.
All right, dude,
Li Ming went back
because shields are getting taken off. Yeah, Ming goes back. Well, that means that Manatees can defend here because they will have 5 defense.
Yeah, if Manatees comes out of this with their keep up, they're still in a really good spot.
No, definitely ahead. Kirazim being very aggressive. The whole team going in past the Immortal.
Oh, they swapped Tyrande into Water Dragon, and down she goes. Cocoon, I assume, just coming off a cooldown onto ETC, but it's not going to matter. Winston, Churchill, Manatees, they do not care about this Immortal. Wipeout, if they get another couple kills, they might be able to end.
And there goes Imperius. This is looking grim for Jailbail. We might get game 3. I'm looking forward to it.
Now, that wasn't quite enough. 3 are able to get away. They back up. Going to try to burn the Immortal as much as they can. But the keep will go down. So, despite the 2 losses, that leads to like a 100% even game. Look at the levels, Wipeout. Look at the structures. It's literally dead even.
Alright, so we're looking basically at the next... Who wins the next team fight? Big team fight wins game. And they're being aggressive.
I love it.
This is perfect.
Imperius is not here.
Karazim's
Karazim's going to jump right in there, and now this could be a problem. Nice leaping strike to try to get in there. Jailbait running for their lives. They do get out. The swap doesn't hit, but Cheeky's barely escapes again.
I think there was a little bit of miscommunication. There must have been a missed call on who to engage on. They were just too eager and didn't quite call the right target.
Well, I know all about not calling the right target.
Aren't you the shot caller?
Yes. That's why I know all about not calling the right target.
Now, ETC showing.
Both sides are here.
It's one of the things you do when you don't want them coming in, but I think they could have been actually just hiding and looking for a bush. All right, they're 20. Do we get that last? That we get the pick and then the.
Now, worth noting, ETC, I think, has the best selection of level 20s in the game. They're all viable, and you always have to check for the curveball that is death metal, and we have death metal on board.
Yeah, so the problem is, even when you have death metal, will your team actually remember that you have it?
Correct. You got to remind them. You 100% have to remind them. But it's a 4-second uninterruptible mosh pit.
Yeah. So how many times have you forgotten that you picked it?
Never, because I only pick it with intent. We actually won a Heroes Lounge game last season just on the back of me stat picking death metal and calling for my own death.
Alright, we're looking at engage here from Jailbail. Both teams are 20. Fight is happening under the Manatees Immortal.
Aiming getting good poke damage though, but Imperius is going to have to get out of that bush if he doesn't want to eat that stun.
I was going to say he was being nice and patient. He might get a stun on multiple people here. No. Jackster is doing a heck of a job keeping everyone away. He's being aggressive. And Noob is in trouble. Oh, he just gets out, but Jackster's still on him.
As is Karazim, 7-sided to keep himself alive, but a noob gets out with like 100, 200 health. Winston, Churchill, Manatees going super aggro, unable to finish Imperius. There's the mosh pit on only one, but ETC
We're
is
gonna
so
get a death
low.
mosh as well. Greymane's going to go down, but so does Lunara. Well, we got value out of the, definitely got value out of the death mosh. Jackster's still going.
Karazim's right there. They can get more kills here. Now they can burn the Immortal. They have Karazim and Artanis. They can burn the Immortal.
Just go for it.
With the push top.
Yeah, no, definitely with the Immortal.
One of the things with ETC that I think K-Wolf needs to look out for is if you're low and you hit a mosh and Li Ming is on the other team, we call you a target. Like, you're just a sitting target to get blown up. It's happened a couple times.
But with Death Mosh, that's
true. He got value out of that Death Mosh.
All right,
Oh, Jack's looking for the swap. There it is. And now Tyrande is in trouble. Karazim literally just standing there, punching her in the face over and over and over again. This Immortal will go over to Winston, Churchill, Manatees. They will have all 5 members up when Tyrande will have a staggered death. Fortunately, it will go top for Jailbait, though.
The entire game, we've had a really clean game. No unnecessary death. I'm going to call this one a bad death. This one was just one that you shouldn't have given.
Yeah, definitely. Tyrande caught out a little bit. You know, Jaxter's been really aggressive with those swaps. And you're not going to do a lot 2v3. Specifically that 2v3. You're not going to kill double support Artanis as a 3-star.
Artanis is so deceptive. You're looking at a quarter of his health, a 10 of his health, but with his shield, he's going to stay up. He's got double support. He's not going down. It's rare.
So here we go. Immortal. 22 minutes in the game.
All right, ETC in the bush. No, he's going to come out. And they're looking for a pick. With a pick, it's over.
Now Mosh Pit is up. Is that right?
Swap. Happens on a noob. He burrows out. Do we get a mosh? No, but Blind goes out. Jaxter's in trouble.
Except for he has 2 supports, although ETC is cocooned, and that's a problem. I don't know if they can end... Well, that'll help. Death Metal on 2. They're going to get a counter kill, maybe? 7-sided, they may get 2 counter kills, at least 1.
No, they're going to have to back out. So.
That might prevent them from ending, though, frankly. With Greymane not on the board, that's a lot of core burn, and they have to save their own core. Karazim going super balls to the wall, eats an impale. They do get 46% damage, though, although they finally made Karazim pay for that aggression. Is this game Wipeout?
Mongoose, don't overstay. I think we just said it earlier. Don't overstay. I wouldn't call that a second bad death. Just it was unnecessary. You know that you weren't going to finish the core. There's no point.
I don't think they end with this. Artanis up in 14, Lily up in 14, ETC up in 18. If Lunara can stay alive...
Oh, good juke.
6 seconds till they're up. This is dicey. This is really dicey. Jailbait recognized. But did they overstay? Right. Where's the swap? Where's the Lunara slow?
Do we have throw, counter throw?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Throw, counter throw, disconnect.
All right, so... measurably, Jailbait are worse off. They need to now take care of 2 lanes. Well, bottom lane is super pushed out.
And their core is only at 54%. This is, 25 minutes into a game. Lunara, Artanis, Karazim can burn through a 54% core real quick.
Yeah, and worst of all, Manatees have been winning all the fights, all the team fights because of their sustain. They picked a comp that I didn't really give much credit to, but they are winning it. So what do you do on the side of Jailbait?
Well, I think you got to do what they've been doing. The fights they've been winning have been because they cocoon either ETC or Artanis and blow someone up. And if you blow someone up, you get the reset. If you get the reset, that's where Li Ming gets her value. And, that's not really something we talked about. But Winston, Churchill, Manatees, they early picked this double support comp. And then Jailbait picked a Li Ming into a double support comp, and that's, maybe questionable because it's hard to get the reset value. And if Li Ming is not getting her reset, she's just not as strong.
Especially with the bullet, because it's much more difficult to actually finish a target with bullet. It's great to start, but with double support. Now, having said that, Lily isn't your best support for single target heals.
Also true. And also true, no palm.
No palm. So I think...
But you didn't know that in draft.
No. Yeah. No. If Manatees manage to keep Artanis up, I think they win straight up every fight. They just have to be aware of the fact that Jailbait, once they get him off the table, like that's the win condition, getting him off the table, and keep him up.
So we're still waiting for Camium. who has played a pretty mean Kerosene. Just a little aggro that last time. He was feeling pretty good about himself. But he's been pretty problematic, honestly, with the way he's been YOLOing onto the backline. He put a lot of pressure onto Ronda on the top fight in the top lane, where Manatees fought past the Immortal. That was really set up with Kerosene going hard onto Tyrande, who doesn't have a lot of mobility. Jackster was able to get back there too, but it was really that Kerosene that set up that initial team fight win there.
Yeah, it looks like Jackster's basically going ham. He knows he can do it. He's got the skill and he's got the sustain. But like you said, the Kerosene is just being so annoying. He's being so aggressive, and you have to deal with him because he's putting out damage that's, again, you don't really see it immediately, but the damage with Wave of the 100 Fists, yeah, Wave of the 100 Fists, it adds up really quickly. And solo support Lunara, even with the double tank frontline, she's going to have a hard time with it.
Well, and in particular, if he gets on to Tyrande herself, right? She's not going to auto-attack Kerosene to keep her healing up. She's going to run. So that makes that even more difficult if Kerosene actually gets onto that Tyrande.
Yeah, because you get Tyrande going the I would say correct healer build. If she went the different build where she can get a lot more sustain with the auto attack, maybe she can dual Kerosene. But then you get your heals that are reduced, and you don't get the team fights. So, yeah, no, he's doing an amazing job being just a pain in the rear.
All right, so we're back here for game number 2. Oops. Oh, did not want to do that. All right, Winston, Churchill, Manatees will secure their bruiser camp and hoping to pick up a point and force a game 3. And with where these teams are at on the standings, you know, that would be a little bit of a minor upset, honestly. Jailbait's kind of a veteran team, been playing both Heroes Lounge and NGS. They were, you know, somewhere mid-pack, although they're going on to ETC. There's the stuns. He does able to power slide away, so missed opportunity for a kill onto ETC there. Whereas Winston, Churchill, Manatees took a season off, so they're still probably getting their sea legs under them a little bit. So, you know, that would be a little bit of a minor upset for Winston, Churchill, Manatees if they're able to pull this game off here.
But I love the confidence. Jackster right up in there again, but he might be in trouble. Is he going to stay alive? Is he? No, I think they just saved ETC.
100% they did. They 100% saved ETC for now.
ETC, we might get a death mosh out of him.
He's trying. They're actually not attacking him.
Oh no, 0 value. One for 2 kills.
Yeah, the cursed bullet was actually money, and then the cocoon on the back of it actually kept ETC alive and probably prevented a reset on Li Ming there.
Yeah, no, ETC lived forever.
Part of that was they just weren't attacking him, though. I don't think they wanted to proc that death mosh.
Is it? Yeah. No, that's actually a good call on the side of Jailbait. They are aware of the death mosh, and they're going for the Artanas. You get the Artanas down, and a ton of damage is actually moved off the table. Now, Kerosene is going in deep, and he's going to pay. That's... Oh, no. I wanted a third game. They were doing so well. They were playing so aggressive, and...
Yeah, I don't mind the kind of skirmishy to delay this, because this Immortal will probably end the game, but doing it under the other Immortal is dicey.
Yeah, diving into 4 solo, maybe if you have your support with you, but...
Now this is a 27-minute, fully shielded Immortal. Going to be marching on Keep and then Core. I don't know... I mean, look at the top. Jackster, I think, is just pushing in top. I think maybe he figures if he can get on Core with Katas, maybe he can burn it fast enough while his team prevents backs.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's what they're going for. That might be a tall task. He needs a wave, and he needs to clear first. So nobody dies. That's the name of the game. Nobody dies.
Now, he does have 2 Katas coming in with him. Imperius actually went back to deal with him. Eats the Impale, so that will probably end that little tactic. And now...
He's still going for it, but
yeah, he's got to try.
I don't think he wins this one.
And there goes ETC. Deathmosh only catches 1. It's going to be on a Nubarak, so they're not going to be able to finish him off. Meanwhile, Artanis actually went down to Imperius as well. And I think that will probably do it.
Karazine's out. I don't think we're going to be pausing the game at this point. Yeah, I don't think anything was saving him there.
Well, that game was a little bit bananas.
Yeah. Manatees started out so strong. They had the game. They could control the game. And for a while, you were thinking they had the game top as well, but they just overstayed and gave up a few kills that just didn't have to happen. And yeah, lost the game because of it.
All right. Well, whoops. He'd be a good caster. Overlay.
Who's going to do the most damage, hero damage on your team, Lunar or Artanis? Artanis just went off.
Yeah, but you know who else went off? Li Ming with 111,000 hero damage.
Well, good job, both.
That's a lot of hero
23 to 18 for Jailbail. It didn't seem that way. It seemed that Manatees had the kill potential early, but it must have turned around late game.
That second game, though, was pretty entertaining. Normally, I like to have a chat with the winning captain, but unfortunately, I don't have. So, instead, I'm going to say thank you to Wipeout for joining me, and any shout-outs on your way out, my friend?
Thank you for having me. Shout out to NGS for putting on all of these matches and for having a great season. Maybe work on replacements for some of their shittier teams.
All right, well, that's
good games for both teams.
Yeah, especially that game too was really a fun game to watch. But that's gonna do it for us. I am going to throw it over to Division D West, the baddest dudes versus Randy Newman, as casted by the one and only Sky Bunny. So hang out for that one, guys. I'll be back tomorrow night casting actually Division A, your neck of the woods Wipeout. It's going to be Sky 5 versus Lion Speed. Should be a good set. So here at 6 o'clock Pacific again. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
I'll be sure to watch. Good night.